Welcome to Connect Through Beauty 2.0. My name is Ashley Rivera, and I am so excited that you joined us today.
I'm Krista Bartik, and we are here to help you navigate the challenges and embrace the mistakes that come with this rewarding but demanding industry. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our goal is to provide you with the knowledge and inspiration you need to help you level up within your career.
Hello everyone, it's Ashley Rivera. I just wanted to let you know about CanvasME. Have you guys heard of this platform yet? Oh my goodness, talk about a game changer. If you are a salon owner and you have trouble recruiting, this is the platform for you. So go to CanvasME.com right now, sign up today. You will not regret it. The people that I recruit on this platform are incredible. They are our people. Every salon has its own culture. And guys, you as a salon professional out there, you're looking for a salon to join, this is the platform to join too, because now you can look for your home, your place, the atmosphere, the environment that you want and you've been always envisioning. So guys, check it out right now, CanvasME.com. You won't regret it. Welcome back to Connect Through Beauty 2.0. Today, Krista and I have a chance to sit down with Michael Cole. The Michael Cole, love you so much, and I'm so happy that you're here. And we're talking about this hot topic that Michael has so much knowledge around and has really been lighting up social media with it. And that's all about virtual consultations. So I'm excited to pick your brain around this and for you to navigate us all through the best way to handle these consultations.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to have the conversation. And I always look forward to it. It's been a while since I've, been a part of a conversation that's not only this exciting, but it's still very much, I don't want to say in infancy, but it's like a toddler. It's not an infant, but and it continues to grow. Mm-hmm. So the context I want to set is that really what I bring to the table today is really what I've come to learn about virtual consults through a few hundred interviews with very early adopters, hairdressers that are up, because it's still very much, while it's probably on the back end of early adopter, it doesn't feel like it's hit the tipping point yet where, one could say it's a trend. I mean, We'll see. So so that I'm just not making stuff up, but really more reporting what I'm finding and reporting what I'm learning as a result of this, Ashley. The other is some things like, for example, it looks like what's most attractive to a client or a prospective client seems like there's a corollary to the degree that the client is part of this ever-growing modern / transformational hair color trend / hair extension, which is a very specialized high end, where your average ticket when you start getting into that community is a few $100s. They find them to be the opportunity to really have the conversation before they show up, or even have a conversation with the person that's going to be serving them before they even decide to book, because first of all, of the money. We're not talking about a $50 or even $100 ticket. And then number two, the scope of transformational color today is, it just watch that is exciting. So that's the other point that I want to make. It's when I talk about virtual consults, at least of the working definition, with few, if any exceptions, they're taking place on Instagram. And it is the DM feature on Instagram. So whatever virtual consults look like, at least from what I'm learning, it's not like this. Like right now, you know, we're on a Zoom, right?
Right.
Where this is exclusively, for all intents and purposes, exclusively exchanging text, exchanging content using a particular platform, Instagram, and the DM feature on Instagram. So I want to say that. The other thing I know about this, and this is probably one of the newer insights, is that when we talk about virtual consults, I want to talk about it as an experience, a highly unique, sustainable, value-added, I might even be so bold as to say it's a luxury experience. Not only for the prospective client, but for the hairdresser. So that as I continue to inquire about what it's like to have this, it really is an experience, meaning there are emotional episodes or sensational episodes in this exchange that are very, very, very compelling to both the prospective client and a hairdresser.
Yeah.
The other last point I'll make, and then I'll let us both catch our breath and you can ask me a couple of questions, is it takes place over at least 2 days, sometimes 3.
Okay.
So it's not like, you know, when we think about a traditional consult, you know, we're in the chair, there's a 10-minute, sometimes 15-minute window, and it's perpetual.
Right.
Virtual consults, as a rule, happen in real short windows of time, 15, 30 seconds, and then, you know, a client goes back and kind of thinks about it. And it takes might take a hairdresser some time, and a hairdresser may need to, because they're in the middle of stuff. So they really don't shut down their life to have this. So it's perpetual. And then something happens in a 2 or 3 day window after a handful of exchanges, where now the prospective client is a client. It's like, okay, I really want to do this. What's like, how do we do this? How do we make this happen? And then depending on what a salon is set up on their, if they're a traditional salon that's primarily or exclusively you call in, that happens. Many, many, many times there's a hairdresser will have the online booking feature on their mobile and an app on the mobile. And it works best, according to hairdressers that I talk about, where a hairdresser will book the client. That's one of the last exchanges, so that the client doesn't have to figure out or learn the platform, learn the booking platform. And then once the client comes in and is the client, you know, what used to be, technically it's a first time visit, but there's a whole visit that has happened in a virtual. So when the client shows up for what we typically would think of as the first time visit, it doesn't look like a first time visit. It's like when both see each other, there's an excitement. It's like, oh wow, we've been, you know, like we've been talking to each other, getting to know each other, you know, online through DM, and it's really cool to see each other. And then the nature of whatever the consultation would be in the first time visit, it's totally different. It's now collapsed down to 30 seconds, 1 minute, like everything
Mm-hmm.
has been figured out. We just connect, make sure we're still good to go and go. And what hairdressers tell me is the clients now that are doing it, that it's become part of their rhythm, are basically saying, I really want and need to have all this stuff figured out before I show up. And if I do, I show up so much more relaxed, comfortable.
Yeah.
They would say, both would say that. A hairdresser would also say, I am so much more relaxed, especially when I say the younger the hairdresser, to the degree that a hairdresser hasn't been in the business as long, like they're new.
Right.
This first time contact with a client is so,
Yeah.
it collapses anxiety.
I agree. I would imagine so.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop for a couple seconds, let you two catch up to me and ask me, make any comment, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I imagine it would be something especially that really ignites the newer stylists, because I think that's the number one thing that they struggle with is the communication when that person is sitting in front of them. And now I have to remember all of the things that I learned and go through all of the stuff in my head. And now I have time to actually process what the client is asking me. I have time to go through all of these things and really come back to them with a good educated answer, and can now come to them with a really good conclusion and execute a plan. But I don't want to jump in here. I know Krista's probably dying to ask questions, so go for it.
I was dying. Could you tell?
Yep.
I love the idea of a virtual consultation. I first heard of that when I started behind the chair, and it sparked my interest because when you're first getting behind the chair, your consultations are so important. So anything to elevate that experience and ease that anxiety of joining that conversation with that new client, I mean, that just sounds like something I needed when I first started. Now, my question is, as somebody who is working behind the chair, 3 days a week, let's say 10, 12-hour days, and, booked to the max, like every minute by the minute, how would you incorporate virtual consultations to that stylist like me? Would you charge for that? Because if you're having, 4, let's say, new client consultations, they're about 30 minutes a pop. Let's say, it could be 15 minutes, but I feel like sometimes it could extend a little further depending on the client and depending on what needs to be discussed. Over time, let's say you have 4 30-minute consultations a week, which is, 2 hours a week, and then 8 hours a month, which is technically like a full day of work. So would you charge for this consultation? Because I have people reach out through Instagram who are like, hey, I love your work. I'm in another state and I can't fly to see you, but I would love your advice. So I feel like a virtual consultation would be great for somebody starting to get that new client in their chair, but also great for someone who's maybe not in the area and wants that advice. So how would you go about that in terms of pricing?
So what you're asking is because there is so much value on, yes. And if a couple things came to my mind, Kristen. One is, so the person that you're, let's call it, serving by actually having the consult really isn't going to be coming to you, but looking to your expertise to help them figure out exactly what they want, so that when they do find somebody in their area, they come to them with almost, an architectural blueprint. It's like, right? So you really are in that situation. You really are a consultant.
Yeah.
And I think that, and because it's so unprecedented and new, the good news is there would be no such thing as a screwing it up because you can't Google it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say to you, okay, getting started. If I was coaching you about this, if you think you're going to have not just 15 minutes of your time, but a lot of expertise, what do you think that is worth? And getting started with that. It's almost like a what I've come to call a cost to create quote. When inside of a virtual, you're really not giving a cost to create. It's the cost or the investment to consult. And you getting started and make the number interesting enough for you to get excited about, and if it catches on, you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Cost to create. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Well, that's one of the part of the language inside of the virtual consult, where the prospective client is going in this regard to, I am in your area, and either I'm either about to book, but I wanted to talk to you first, or I have booked, but before I come in, I want to have this. So the person, the hairdresser, knows that this is something that is kind of part of the deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that case, in that scenario, like a client is reaching out to come and see me, we're having this virtual consultation. It's going so well. So in that case, and you are going to have them come in as a client, would you, charge like a fee to hold the appointment, or, maybe that number goes towards their services that they get, something like that?
Yeah. I mean, today it's that part of the agreement is evolving as we speak. So now all of a sudden there's a new term in vocab called, a booking fee. And that the price of, basically booking fee is just an eloquent way of guaranteeing the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Now the other is the context of this, where this is really, I see it a lot in the newer the hairdresser, it's most compelling. But I just interviewed somebody last week that's, six-figure hairdresser, at a level 6 or 7. And this is part of how this is now part of her deal, if you will. And we didn't have any, she doesn't have any issues with that. By the time the consult is done, the client is so excited about getting in and having this. And it's interesting because when the cost to create quote is given, how it's given is on most salon software programs, you can now, you see the ticket, but there's a feature where you can kind of, if you go on my 2 posts ago, you'll actually see the invoice, where the invoice looks like what you would kind of bring up to the front desk, except it's the cost to create the quote, and the invoice in essence is the client plan. Like when you come in, here are the 6 services that we're going to do to create this transformational color.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about it is the client sees and has an appreciation of the value. So when somebody goes, hey, okay, so what do you charge for transformational blah, 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 and you quote $300 or $400, that's one thing. But when you see the plan and all of the services within that plan, you have an appreciation of the value of that plan. and where, you know, there isn't any, when I say isn't any, for all intents and purpose, buyer anxiety, gee, I wonder if it's going to be worth it. It's like, okay, I get this, I understand it. And I think also the context of the conversation is we're having it in ultra private, confidential space. So until virtuals, you had no choice. You were in the chair. We had this conversation. We've already booked out the time. We got maybe 10 minutes to figure out what we're going to do. This was the first contact. And depending on how busy the salon is, the first time visitor, you know, in addition to all the anxiety that comes with being first time for both hairdresser and client, the new client is in the chair. They can see that there's client on both sides of them. They look in the mirror and kind of like, in this case, the rear view mirror, they see a couple of more behind them. They can see and hear conversations going on. So they just intuitively know that if I can see and hear them, they can see and hear me. I've got a very finite window. I don't have no time to think about this. And sooner or later, someone's going to tell me what it's going to cost, or I'm going to ask. So all of a sudden, that vulnerability, that creepy, and we didn't know it was creepy before virtuals. It was like, you don't know it. But all of a sudden now there's an alternative that wasn't there before. And the alternative is much, much more viable. It's more compelling. It's more relaxing. And you don't have stylists hovering around the front desk anymore. Or, you know, today you'll hear this, I hear this all the time, that iGens, you know, 19, 20, 21, you know, that generation seems to have anxiety issues.
Yeah, definitely.
So, right, all of that is going away in this for this virtual. So now I'm surprised, amazed, astounded by this, because at face value, I wouldn't have predicted this. I just, sounds like we're having a digital conversation. But the more I study it, the more fascinated. There's a whole psychology here.
Definitely.
Right. And as we start dissecting it or kind of giving an anatomy of it, it's like sooner or later. And if I'm talking to the Kristens of the world, you when you're really busy, crammed, rammed, and jammed, and money counts and time counts, you may not. It may not fit the context yet until such time as virtuals are now trending, and there's an implication of not having some kind of offering to first-time clients, you know, where you start risking the loss of a referral or something. And will it come to that? I don't know. Stay tuned, more will be revealed. But it really is proving to be a very big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I could see this being beneficial for someone in, you know, in my shoes, or, you know, that's really busy, because when you take on a new client, I'm still accepting new clients. I firmly believe that you should always be accepting new clients. Now, when it comes to that, it allows me to see the energy and get a feel of the person as a client. So someone who is busy and can turn people away if it's not a proper fit. I also feel like virtual consultations are great for that stylist too, because that tells me, okay, I can't manage this client's expectations no matter how hard I try, which, let's be real, I mean, there are those people out there, and that's okay. So I also feel like virtual consultations are not only saving, you know, stylists time, but also money on product and, you know, bringing them back to fix it and things like that. So I feel like this virtual consultation trend can actually speak to both newer stylists and experienced stylists.
Yeah.
Oh, I hands down would say that because as I'm starting to just kind of blueprint what virtuals look like, it's almost like we're collapsing time. So more times than not, the prospective client has landed on your page, and whether they got there because one of your clients blew in the ear of, their working peer, their next door neighbor, somebody in their family, who knows? But now the norm is the client is vetting you out before making the decision. And the best way to vet you out is just go to your page.
Yes.
They go to your page, and to their amazement, your work blows their mind. They're going, okay, this is not a question of if, like I've already, you're my huckleberry, right? And then they will take a screen grab off of your work about something that they just love. And this is before they even reach out to you. So they had a screen grab, and then they go, okay, now I'm gonna do a selfie. So the very first shot over the bow, the first touch point is they DM'd you 2 pieces of content. The selfie, your work, and you've got in front of you a before and after picture. All of a sudden, all of the questions that would normally be asked in a traditional kind of sort of go away. You've already landed. You might have a couple of technical questions, but now you're either going to say yay or nay, and sometimes you got to make a modification, and you'll do that. Now, how much time would that take you to do when you're answering them on your convenience? When's convenient for you? It could be at the end of the day, beginning of the day, you're in between, you're checking out your DMs anyway. You take a minute to do a couple, send them a DM, and all of a sudden now they're going, okay, how much, what does it cost? You send them a quote. That's pretty simple. I mean, it looks, nothing's simple. It seems to be less difficult and less cumbersome. Now they come in, and you used to spend 5-10 minutes with a whole bunch of inquiry, and now it's you see them, good to see you. We're still good. Yep, let's go, and they're off and running. So it looks like it's a time saver.
Yeah. Well, you said something that I wanted to say earlier too about this is people are visiting. If we're doing this through Instagram, you're on the Instagram page, you're seeing that person's work, you're there for a reason, and being able to see what they can do, now you're already starting to build the trust. And like, Michael, you always go back to the experience of the client's having an experience on the page, and they're just kind of relating, this is exactly what I have wanted. This is what I wanted for my hair. And just knowing that, then going into this virtual consultation, I think just continues to build the trust, continues to build.
Yes. It's a new way, if you will, of bonding, building rapport, trust building, whatever you want to call that. And, the other thing that, it's becoming obvious, but I want to state it, to the degree that a hairdresser is on Instagram, it has branded themselves, and they're really in that game. It's like, oh, okay, I'm checking my page once or twice a day, 3 times a day, just because I want to see, and all of a sudden I do have DMs, so those aren't, so it's, now, to the degree you're not, to the degree that you're not as social yet, you really don't have presence. You don't, so there might be a virtual consult, but it might not take place on Instagram. Like I was on a private Zoom the other day where there was probably, 15 salon owners that have a service that you can pretty much have a virtual consult with somebody at the desk, and then once that's all figured out, they book you with someone and then once that's figured out, once someone's been booked, that someone gets back to the client to kind of have a virtual, and what they use for a platform. It could be texting, it could be whatever. But to me, and that's a wonderful way of but the profound distinction is that the brand brought in a client.
Right.
And that client doesn't know who. Not only does the client not know what they want, but they're not sure who they want to be served by. To me, that's a profoundly different reality.
I can see that.
You know, so and not one isn't any better than the other, but really, to me, I'm not comparing apples to apples here. That's like what do you do when?
Yeah.
The first shot over the bow was a DM on a hairdresser's page. Now, sometimes, in fairness, a client will be on the salon's page, and the salon has a wonderful page. The prospective client is kind of hunting on the grids. They find Ashley's content or Kristen's content. They look to see whose handle it is, and then they take it from there.
Right.
So there are some variations of this, but and you know, whatever it was, heck, 3 months ago, never mind a year ago, pales in comparison to where it is now. And I think we're still very much into the incubation and development of the, whatever you want to call it, the digital service.
No, I agree with you 100% on that aspect, because I mean, even when I'm interviewing people or trying to schedule this meeting with them, it's through text messages, because if I email someone of an 18 to 25, they're not checking their email. And or if I call them, they're not picking up their phone. So when I text them, they get right back to me. So, and you know, it's just kind of just shifting your mind a little bit into thinking, okay, how can I relate to this new, not even a new, just kind of just a different way of thinking. It's all relatively the same foundation of, yes, we're having a consultation. It's just in a different way, shifting your mindset a little bit in a different perspective.
Yeah. What I think I know for sure is that the experience that the first time guest or client and the first time stylist are getting from that exchange, it's a very profoundly natural human, I love this experience. Gosh, I feel so much less stress with meeting something for the first time. So when the touch point is digital, it just seems to take a lot of the anxiety out of it.
Definitely. So if someone's going to be listening to this and they're going to be thinking, how should I begin, you know, even saying that I'm going to start doing these? Like, is there a specific way that they should start saying to their clients, or to maybe on their page, I am starting to do virtual consultations? You know, is that something that happens, or is this just an organic thing that's happening?
That's a great question. You know, as somebody I always try to be on the front end of anything. And when the good news is that you're on the front end of it, the not so good news when somebody says, okay, well, where can I go to learn more about this? Because there's, you know, questions that are just, how do you get started getting started? Right. There isn't, for somebody that needs a step-by-step, it's not there yet.
Okay.
But it will be in, I don't know, a half an hour. An hour. Now, because I'm not that once upon a time, that's kind of how I would, you know, there would be a Michael Cole virtual Zoom, or back before COVID, there was, you know, come to the Marriott when I'm doing a tour, and it's the anatomy of the virtual consultation. Right. I mean, if I was still in that game, buy my book, come to the seminar, watch this podcast. And right now I'm talking about it just basically as a reporter, but I would bet that in about an hour from now, whether it's the Daniel Mason Jones of the world, or, someone's going to say, I've got this figured out. Even Kristen probably taking notes, going, oh, I'll do that. Or, the Masters of Balayage. Who knows where you're going to be able to go. in the meantime, you're going to need to be a little bit of a self-directed learner to, okay, you know, you can ask me, if you ask me now, I'd say, get started getting started. You know, get, you know, watch this or listen to this podcast. And it's almost like when I ask Jedis that are doing this, where'd you learn how to do this, all this stuff? And they go, well, I started following people that I really found to be interesting. And I started kind of doing what they were doing.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
If you went to my Instagram page, you would be able to watch 10, 15-minute Instagram lives that are now recorded to listen to hairdressers talk about how they do it. But right now, that's as good as it's going to get.
I love it. No, and that's what we'll do. We're going to point everybody into your direction.
Yeah.
So, and then Krista, you have to come up with the how do I start?
How do I start? Yeah. Then we'll put a list by list of how to get started, how to jump into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet you a half hour after this call, you two are going to craft a list. The 5 steps, the 6 steps.
Well, we're already thinking this way. So, Michael Cole, we need your expertise, though.
So, Michael, I'm curious on, consultations aside, virtual consultations aside, in the industry today, what are opportunities that you're seeing for hairdressers beyond just working behind the chair?
This has been a topic of ours, so we were dying to ask you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're noting as you're, kind of whether you want to call it crawling or scrolling Instagram, there are on my feed on a daily basis people that are doing hairdressers that are just doing an extraordinary job of, I'm going to call it leveraging Instagram, and now it's TikTok, that are going, okay, I've got this figured out. I've pretty much organically incubated my process, and now they're building a community they've got the community of followers, but subscribers of, give me some money, monthly or whatever, and I'll plug you in and begin to not only teach you what I've been doing, but I'm learning on a daily basis. And it's all around this. It's just amazing the number of people I now see that have started this. Now, whether it's a hobby and they've monetized it, or it's becoming a business. Some of these people, it's becoming and as I talk to them, because they're, I'll go to their page, geek out with them. I usually keep that private so I don't get myself in any trouble where there'll be a video chat, an Instagram video chat. Ashley, you and I do this frequently.
Yeah.
I call it, we just geek out, right?
Yeah.
And so because I'm curious, like, where are you on this? And, it looks like you've monetized it, and like, how are you? And so I would say to any hairdresser that's really wants to find a new revenue source, and they love social.
Right.
You got it. I mean, if you got OCD social. And I'd be the first to say guilty as charged, Your Honor. I mean, I just absolutely. Now, I'm an old guy, so it's not like I need a new opportunity to make money like I need a hole in the head. So I just do it just because first of all, I love hairdressers. I love the business. I grew up on it. And I find this to be just astonishingly interesting and inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you enjoying Threads?
Enjoying the what?
The Threads on Instagram. Did you see that?
Oh I got really, really excited when I saw it. It's the I mean, you hear it all, the Twitter killer and everything. So I've been on it. I go and I post daily, but now the buzz is, they had whatever multiple million in the first week or whatever. But now it's like, okay, we're all on it.
And now what?
Now
Yeah,
what?
Bingo. And
I agree.
so
I agree, but I keep thinking like, am I missing something? But I don't know if I feel like I am missing something. It's just kind of like, okay, now it's just another place to post something.
yeah, and I don't know about you, but I need another Instagram. Yeah. Instagram pages are like children, right? If you're a parent, like you go, okay, I have one child, like, gee, if I have another child, like it'll just be twice as much as, and that doesn't look like much. And then you have two kids, you go, whoa, I wish this was only twice as difficult. It's it's 4 times.
Yeah.
So I've been on social long enough that if I don't need to, I got a presence, I post some content, but I'm not building any strategy on Threads yet.
Yeah.
I want to look to see, and I'm sure the Zuckerbergs of the world are going, okay, the good news is we've got multiple million on this new platform. Now what?
Yeah.
I'm sure they're scratching their head because the word on the street is it went this way. There's a whole bunch of people on it, but now it's like there's nothing going on. Yeah. And until the Zuck does something about that, who knows?
Right. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Do you see Threads lasting? Like, do you feel like this is going to be a platform that will get as big as Instagram, or do you feel like it's going to be Clubhouse?
That's a great question. If I had to, my hunch is that the people that own Threads are, very intelligent people, so they'll figure out what else we need to do. Zuckerberg's notorious for saying, "I tell you what, we're going to turn up the algorithms on this." And my hunch is that you're going to see, and you're seeing it now if you go there, that whatever people are creating for content on Instagram, they're kind of sort of like bringing the content as is or a variation of it. So who knows? Who knows? Stay tuned. More will be revealed.
I did hear something interesting about Threads being linked to your Instagram account. So if you delete one, it deletes the other. What are your thoughts on that?
I've always been, when people have asked me, I get you get one click, and there's something about, I don't do that. That's just, I always want to, whatever it is I do on one, if I take the content exactly as it is, I'll bring it over and put some other spin on it, just because that's kind of sort of the cloth I'm cut from. Yeah. Or I'll repurpose it a lot because I'll get an inspiration. I'm sure you both of you are like this. First time you do something is one thing, but when you have to do it or you decide to do it the second time, all of a sudden there's insights you've had doing it the second time that from the first time that you couldn't. So you go, okay, I'm, as a content creator, I'm gonna, because that's fun. That's fun to kind of leapfrog off of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
100%.
Well, I love this. So good. So good.
It's always good to hang, and now I can hang out with Krista too.
Yeah.
I love your term geek out. I'm like, we should geek out more often.
I think I just, because usually I don't know what I've learned in the last 50 minutes, but I know I've learned a lot. And in about an hour or so, the experience that I just had will kind of turn into insights and understandings and go, wow, I know something now that I didn't as a result of geeking out with two of my friends.
That was an amazing conversation regarding virtual consultations. What do you guys think? We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear, this is something you're going to be introducing into your business. Let us know. Hit our link in our show notes. This is going to direct you to our Instagram page. We want you to leave a comment on our post regarding virtual consultations. Let us know your thoughts. We want to hear from you. Now, Michael, thank you so much for coming on today's episode. We're so excited for next episode. We're going to be bringing on Samantha Beauty Confessions, going over all things influencer and specifically hair influencer. We'll see you next week on Connect Your Beauty 2.0.
Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you about ElevationH. Paul and Cole Thompson from Manchester, England have created this incredible company. They have apprenticeship programs just for salons. They take that all out of the hands of the salon owner and just take care of it for them. Amazing. They do the same thing in beauty schools and get in there and take them to the next level. They also have memberships for professionals. Guys, we need continued education and we need it to grow. These two have really just elevated that for us in our career, in our businesses. Go ahead and check them out. All of the links are there in our show notes. As always, thank you so much for staying connected with us. Continue to use us as resources so that you can continue to grow as a beauty professional.